Hi, I'm Ed,
Hi, my name's Matt.
and this is our new podcast. Welcome to the internet.
We're going to be talking to you about the dumbest, stupidest, actually sometimes quite interesting news articles that we found over the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
Hope you enjoy.
When we were talking about doing this show,
Yeah.
which we've been talking about doing for about 4 months now.
We have been for a while to put some, well, it's not exposition, is it? But like context.
Yeah, I mean, we came up with this idea about, I don't know.
Probably longer than 4 months ago.
Oh, yeah, it's probably like.
I feel like it's like
6 months?
6 months ago maybe, where we were like, hey, we're funny, so let's record that funny.
We think we're funny.
Yeah.
Let's record
We think
our
we're
funnies.
funny. Let's record a podcast just for us to listen to. Yeah, and we were trying to come up with a theme for ages.
That's right.
We think we've nailed it.
Well,
We'll find out, won't we?
We'll find out in about 2 hours' time.
We'll find out when we finally get to the context of what this show is going to be. Yeah.
But I remember about 2 weeks ago, I made probably the worst suggestion, which was, what about a theme tune? But it's it's a remix of the Modem Loading
Oh
Noise.
no!
And then you went and googled it, and immediately I regretted it because it was like
that is what it's going to be, though. People will have already heard that bit by now, or will they? Maybe this is one really long cold open. Like
this is fine.
this is a 14-minute long intro to a podcast.
It's fine. It's editing, the power of editing.
Yeah, it's going to fade out now into Modem music. Yeah, and then we're all, what's that? Yeah, like when they answer the phone in the Matrix.
Oh yeah, that. One. Yeah,
but we digress. Which is going to happen a lot, I would think.
Yeah.
Cool. So shall we explain what our idea was for this show?
Well, our idea at the moment is to basically look at the internet. I don't know how often we're going to do this.
I think every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was thinking.
But it depends how long it ends up being.
Yeah, I mean, I think an hour and a half max. You don't really want to go past that.
Yeah, an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I've had experience in doing really long episodes, and it's like exhausting.
Well, the last podcast I did, we did an episode that was like 3 hours of material, and I had to cut it down to an hour and a half, and it was impossible. So it's just like, and no one would listen past the hour mark unless it was really funny.
Yeah.
Which, let's face it,
Yeah.
it is. So we don't have to worry too much.
I think like an hour is sort of the golden amount.
What are we talking about? The theme for the show.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, so we had a few ideas. Well, we didn't have ideas. Originally, we were just like, we're going to
talk about the internet
and have themes and like a different subject each week. But I think that we'd pretty quickly run out of, not content, but like stuff that we wouldn't have to try and make funny. The internet's pretty funny anyway.
The internet is funny, and that's what we've ended up settling on, is just talking about like the random news stories that come out.
Yeah. Not clickbait as such.
No,
but just like,
yeah.
You know, you see a news article sometimes and you're like, there's no fucking way that is real.
Yeah,
that's see, basically like
where you see these mental Photoshop images of like 15 shark attacks. Number 10 will blow your mind. And the Photoshop image you've got is a shark that's like the size of a fucking like 18-wheeler like truck.
A monster truck shark.
Yeah, it's like a megalodon like jumping onto a beach. You're like, that didn't happen. At no point.
What if someone went to the North Pole and found a giant monster truck frozen in ice?
But then you'd have to find out why. you have to deep dive.
A Jurassic monster truck.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so the cold open for our show is an attorney going to a cave in the Arctic.
An attorney?
Yeah.
What, like a lawyer?
Yeah. Turning
Why is he in the Antarctic?
Yes, bear with me, right? Bear with me.
Okay, go on.
And there's diggers there. And then they're talking about John Hammond, and then they pick out a piece of frozen like monster truck, like at the beginning of Jurassic
monster
Park,
truck
with the amber. He goes, because he's a digger like me, or whatever they say at the beginning of the film. Would they hear that?
No.
And they're talking about monster trucks in the Antarctic. What?
Fucking hell. Anyway, the main premise we had is that we're gonna secretly find the dumbest, stupidest news articles we can find.
Yeah.
For the prior 2 weeks, or just whatever, just recently, within the last couple of weeks, so they're not, years old. And just riff on them, basically, because some of the ones I've found are absolutely nuts.
Well, yeah, I think you sound a lot more confident about your news articles than mine.
Yeah?
And I've only found, 4.
Okay, okay, right.
Yeah.
So, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to read you the headlines to these, how many have I got? 8.
Okay.
8 news articles. And then you can pick the ones you like the sound of the most.
Okay.
And then I'll read you the article verbatim. Yeah, and go from there, because they're really funny, so it will definitely be easy to be funny about them.
Right.
Which is a good sentence. So, the first one I've got... excuse me. You've probably heard this story already, because I know a few people in our place of work have been talking about this news article. My mum texts me about this news article. This is how weird it is. So the headline is, this is from Sky News. The headline is, man, 69, identifies as 20 years younger and begins legal battle to change his age.
Yeah, I think I read about this the other day.
Yeah. Then the subheading for this is, the self-proclaimed young god, in quotation marks, argues if people can legally change their gender, he should be allowed to change his age. I think a lot of people might have heard of that news article already.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting one. There's a lot of moral discussion to be had about that. And he has a good point, but I think he is just kind of taking the piss a bit. But anyway, that's the first one.
Right.
The next one I found is not funny, but it's interesting. Okay. So the headline is, more than 7,000 people still watch black and white TV in the UK.
I was going to pick that one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was going to pick that one. Because I'm like, is that just in the UK?
Yeah.
Oh, right, I thought it was worldwide.
No, because that's the stat that got me. I was like, 7, that's not that many people, but what the fuck? How are you, what? But the subheading for that one is, who wants a fancy newfangled 4K Ultra HD screen that's bigger than your room? What? When you can have glorious black and white TV. I feel like this article was written by a bitter old baby boomer that's I can't afford a 4K TV. Well, they can, because they're all fucking loaded, but... I
imagine that the people who these 7,000 people are sort of shut-in grandmas who just, I don't know, they live out in those weird little villages you drive through in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you go to their house and you feel, and the moment you walk in, you're like, I feel like I'm in the 70s.
Yeah, people that they're frozen in time. They haven't bought a new TV because their old black and white TV is just what they're used to.
Yeah.
But then how do they get TV signal though? Because there's no analog TV signal anymore, is there? So how are they watching it? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know. What are they watching?
Yeah, so there's actual statistics on this, right? So statistics from the TV licensing board. 7,161 UK households still watch TV in black and white. But this is what I don't get. How do you...
The wording.
How do you...
Do they turn the saturation down on their Ultra 4K?
Is by choice? Or is that just 7,161 colourblind people in the UK?
Yeah. People who have monochrome vision.
Yeah, but how do you... The sticking point for me here is, how do you watch it? Because... Those TVs are so old, they can't receive digital signal. And in the UK, you can't get analog TV signal anymore.
Yeah, they spent years training old people to prepare for the end of...
Literally, I remember TV campaigns, if you need help, call this number. So how is that a thing?
I don't know. I mean, Christ. I'm 37 and you're, 19? Already
28.
Okay. And
19. Fuck off.
I can barely remember when I was very, very young that we had in our kitchen.
Yeah.
We had this tiny portable black and white TV.
Mm.
But it was something we got rid of by the time I was 5.
I know that when
how do you keep hold of this shit and use it still?
When I was younger, my dad and I used to go fishing, and he had a portable black and white TV.
I remember,
a little portable
you say
one.
Portable. I guarantee if you saw it now, it'd be the size.
It was I feel like in my head it was about the size of an original Game Boy.
It's not.
It's probably bigger.
No.
But the thing that interests me about this article, we'll just stick with it now because we started talking about it. In 2000, right? So 19 years ago,
More than half of people in the UK were still watching black and white TV.
Because the TV license board can track this, because when you have a black and white TV, you have to apply for a different TV license. So you have to have a black and white TV license. It costs less than a normal TV license because you're not receiving the broadcast in colour. I don't know how. We're not gonna go into that because it's really fucking me off. But in 2000 there were 212,000 black and white TV licenses.
200,000.
Yeah,
that's mental.
In 2000, I swear.
In 2000.
I was 10. I had a colour TV, but it was one that had a VCR player built into it.
Yeah, a combi.
Yeah, a combi. Yeah. And that was it. That's all I had in my room. But I didn't watch TV when I was a kid. Surprisingly, I wasn't really into TV.
When did they turn off the analog signal? Was it like?
I don't know. I can search for it. When did they turn it? This
is going to be half the show. Is us asking a question we don't know the answer to and just googling it. This is how to use the internet.
Analog TV signals ended in the UK in October 2012.
No, I thought it was a lot earlier than that. Must be wrong. I thought
the switchover started in October 2007. So it took them 5 years to switch everyone over.
A lot of older generations in this fucking country just refuse to move with the times. It's like,
but do you remember
nothing wrong with this old tumble
when
dryer.
you had to buy a box to get Freeview? Do you remember that when Freeview became a thing in the UK and everyone was like, "Oh great, I get more than 4.5 TV channels now."
That's still a thing. You can still buy Freeview boxes.
Yeah, but most even shite TVs have Freeview built in now.
I know.
But you can still buy old people.
Old people still think you have
an
to
annoyingly
buy a box.
large demographic.
A frustrating demographic of people.
But the statistics for this go down really fucking sharply. So 212,000 black and white TV licenses in 2000. In 3 years, 2003, it went to 93,000. That's a pretty big drop to me. And then in 2015, it went below 10,000. Right, and it's actually got geographical fucking breakdown I've
got an idea of who.
Guess what place in the UK has the most black and white TVs?
West Country.
Fucking hell, yeah, the West Midlands.
Yeah.
The West Midlands and County Antrim. I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
And so discounting London, because London is just demographically got a lot of people in it, so it's going to skew the statistics slightly. West Midlands, County Antrim, West Yorkshire, and Greater Manchester. I can't fathom that. No. I guess it has to be what you said. Old people who've just not refused, but stuck in their ways. Maybe.
I guess they would have. This thing you're worried about. It's got you.
But I'm not worried about it. I'm just I don't get. Because if they've turned off analog TV,
yeah, but there wasn't the thing where they did this whole crappy switch over, where it was the future's digital and all that stuff. Couldn't you buy a gizmo that would make your TV work?
Yeah, maybe.
So
maybe they gave them to old people for free.
Yeah, just for Christ's sake, we can't be bothered. To make you move with the times. So,
stop spending your pension on Werther's Originals and buy a TV box.
Voting for Brexit.
Yeah. Stop travelling into the future and voting for Brexit and buy a TV digitizer. I just thought that article for me was just interesting more than anything. So we'll scratch that one off because we've kind of just gone into that because it was so stupid. The next one is another one from Sky because I just happened to be on the Sky news page and I saw.
And you love Sky.
Interesting. I love the Sky.
Yeah.
Sky News.
Big fan of Rupert Murdoch.
The Isle of Skye. I love all things that are called Sky. Yeah. This one is NASA spots mysterious near-perfect rectangle iceberg in the Antarctic.
Yeah, I think this was one of those things I saw. I sort of briefly half read it because it was one of those I thought it
was bullshit when I saw the thumbnail.
Perfectly square iceberg, and I saw the image and I went, that's Photoshop. So I just sort of ignored it. It was guff. But then I think I did sort of half look at it and they came up with some fudgy...
It does look insanely fake. It does. It looks like a big piece of styrofoam that someone's basically made into to look like the Antarctic. Huge, but it is legit. It's legit and it looks absolutely insane. You can, if anyone listening wants to Google it, just Google that headline, NASA spots mysterious near-perfect rectangle iceberg in Antarctic. It's nuts. It honestly looks crazy.
Did they find out why, or is it just someone's gone over there and...
The thing is,
is that going to be our platform for our cover?
Well, that's such a good idea, actually. There's... the thing that caught my eye about the article when I was reading it is the majority of people have remarked about its peculiar shape. General opinion suggests that it's either aliens or Photoshop. They're the only two logical explanations. But then this next bit is the best bit. NASA ice scientist. Like, what? That's a job? Explain the process that caused it is fairly common, but then they don't explain the process. So it's like... you might liken this to the famous iceberg from Titanic. The iceberg itself isn't famous. What is that all about?
Hang on, was the iceberg in Titanic perfectly square? What do you mean?
It was shaped like a giant middle finger. Yeah. Like, and they just crashed
like
into
a gun, and it fired itself at the Titanic.
It fired a giant ice bullet at the Titanic.
What do you mean? What I like there is they say the bit you pointed out, which was, yeah, we know why it's happened. That's all they've said.
But we're not going to tell you.
But that's a secret, because it's aliens.
The other bit as well, it goes, a triangular iceberg was also seen nearby. Is this a Sony marketing ploy? Like a square triangle is going to be a circular one, then an egg-shaped one.
If you look from space, there's the PlayStation logo.
Oh dear. That was the thing for me. It doesn't go into why, how, any science at all.
Why. It's because aliens did it.
Yeah, alien, or could it have been aliens using Photoshop? Like alien Photoshop.
Alien could have come up with this image using Photoshop.
But yeah, it just other things like described as oddly satisfying. Like, it doesn't satisfy me looking at that. Although it is cool because it is. Like, I would be interested in finding out why that happened, but they don't explain it. And I tried to search for more info on it, and it doesn't seem to exist. So,
fake then.
NASA marketing ploy. That's what I think it is.
They're going to bring out their own type of ice.
Yeah. Okay, now we get into the real meat and potatoes of the news articles that I've found, because we start going into some of the UK's more utter shite news publications.
Okay, right.
This is the last one that I think you might have heard of already, because I tested the water with our friend Stuart with some of these news articles to see what his reaction would be. And he'd heard of this one, but it still made him chuckle. This one's from the Metro. US Marine pilots investigated for, in quotes, drawing a giant penis in the sky. Have you heard of this?
No.
No. So what I'm going to do is I'm very quickly going to text you a link to this article so you can see the fucking picture, because it's just the best thing ever. So the crew of the US Navy T-34C out of an Air Force base in a place called Miramar. I'm not quite sure where that is. It's next to a mountain range called the Chocolate Mountains, which is another thing I liked about this article. They were doing a test flight, and they legitimately flew in a pattern in the sky to make a giant penis on a GPS map.
You got a picture there? Let me come around there. It's not fake, or it's like legit, and it's just so stupid. It was first spotted by a Twitter account called @AircraftSpots, which is just a I guess similar to people that do like train spotting and stuff. Like they just look at planes, or whatever. And it's look at that
there's tons of really good quotes in it, right? So one of them is, to be fair, it was a pretty good drawing. And that's a quote from like a US Navy military official, like not even just some like twat on the internet. He goes, it's quite impressive considering they did it in an aircraft flying at hundreds of miles an hour. And this other one, I think this was from like some US Air Force like bullshit Twitter account. You know, they have Twitter accounts to seem like, you know, suitable for millennials or whatever.
Sure.
On the bright side, this shows how greatly proficient our pilots are. They've been trained very well. To draw giant dicks in the sky with their planes. It goes, we can be proud that our fighter pilots are the best in the world. Drawing a penis with this amount of skill and precision proves it. What the fuck are you talking about? And that tweet is ended with, God bless America.
God's sake.
There's so many good quotes in here. Okay, the other one is, it was surgical. Attention to detail is critical in naval aviation. And there's another one, the Twitter account at Navy Times, which is like a US Navy like news Twitter account.
Right.
And it says, no one knew who did this drawing to start off with, right? People were like Snapchatting it because you could see it in the sky.
Right. Yeah.
Like there was like vapor trails of a giant knob in the sky. Yeah. And then people were like, who did this? Snapchatting about it, went viral. And then the Navy went, that was our doing. But these pilots have been grounded and they're being disciplined for this. What are your thoughts on that?
Whatever. You know, like, it's not... Why? What? I don't get it. Like why would you...
It's weird, isn't it?
It is weird. Well, it is weird, but what was... Like, they've graffitied the sky.
This is pure speculation, because I don't know or care or fucking think about the military in any country ever. Because, you know, abolish the military. But basically what I'm assuming is, because they're so, like, strict and, what's the word, like, bureaucratic and stuff like that, that they probably had, like, a preset flight plan, and they just deviated from that and drew a dick in the sky.
Maybe.
Wasting resources, maybe? Because it's got to, like, use a lot of fuel, like, doing something like that.
Or
because it looks like from the map, they were supposed to go from one place to the other, and then that's it. And what they did is they circled in the sky, like, loads to make a giant knob, and then went there. So from the distance covered on this map, it took them twice as long.
Sure. Yeah.
That's got to be why.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know, but...
Or you literally created an offensive image which people are complaining about.
Could be that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's a snowflake now, aren't they? So
apparently, yeah.
You know. Yeah, that one was funny, but now we get into my favourite one. This one's a little bit clickbaity, but the headline was just like way too fucking good for me to ignore.
Right.
5 people on how their poo-related dating stories ended in disaster. Are you interested in this? Would you like to go further with this one, or should we move on? Do you want to hear the rest?
Let's imagine we're at a fruit machine. I'm going to put that one on hold.
Okay, right, cool.
Let's roll again.
The next one is 100% going to tickle your fancy. Half human, half apes filmed holding ritual in cave in Thailand.
What
half human, half apes filmed holding a ritual in cave in Thailand. Tourists left terrified.
Half human, half ape?
Tourists were left stunned when a group of what appeared to be unknown half-human, half-ape animals appeared to be holding some kind of religious ritual inside a cave.
What?
Oh, man. Okay, we'll go in. Okay, right. The main thing to this is a video, right? And it just looks like the fakest fucking shite ever. Right. But
where did this come from?
This is from the Daily Star. Okay, so video footage from the holiday hotspot of Krabi in Thailand. I'm probably saying that wrong. Reveals bizarre scenes that unfolded last week. It shows a number of small ape-like animals, in quotation mark, huddling around each other in a group near a cave. As the camera moves, a number of tourists can be seen frozen by the encounter. According to eyewitness reports, the creatures look like they were taking part in some kind of sacrificial ritual.
What is... Oh, mate.
So there's quotes from the person who saw this, right? So the onlooker, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. It's a Thai name. Sure. I'm not going to do it justice. Who recorded the video said, "We were kayaking around Railay Bay in Thailand. We turned a corner towards a cave popular with kayakers. I don't think that's the actual word for that, but... and found ourselves confronted with perhaps the most surreal and bizarre situation in history." Ewok-like troll creatures were engaged in some ritual in the water for 30 minutes. And then it gives you context, in brackets. Ewoks are small orangey-brown fictional creatures from Star Wars.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and there's a video.
So hang on, a guy from Thailand said that he equated them to Ewok-like creatures.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, of course it didn't. But here's the interesting thing. An official Thai spokesperson said, "Looks like Ewoks are real." That's it. That's the only quote.
I know. I love it, right? I love it when someone like the Daily Mail, they publish a story, right? It's clearly horseshit. And then they get people from the other side of the world to talk like they're Bob who drives a white transit van.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely like Ewoks, mate.
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
I mean, a part of that was me putting that voice on, but you know.
Still,
but then
it's the way it's written. Like,
I was so interested in this. I don't know why, because it's obviously bullshit. I spent an entire lunch break at work deep diving research for this, right? And
what does that look like?
Okay, it basically looked like me eating my lunch and just Googling for ape rituals. But here's the thing. This is the Daily Star, a shite newspaper, but a fucking newspaper, right? Like an actual in-print newspaper who have reported this as real news. Yeah. Okay, it took me 20 minutes of Googling to find out it's actually an art installation by a guy called Ranez Torri.
Brilliant. What?
Like, it's fake. It's just totally fake. And he does, like, live performances and, like, art installations. And he just did it in a cave in fucking nowhere, hoping that someone would come across it and think it was real.
Brilliant. So they felt, well...
So either the person who wrote this article in the Daily Star, Callum Hoare, moron, knew this and didn't report it and was like, shit, I haven't got anything for the editor today. J. Jonah Jameson's going to be really mad at me. Like, yeah, just utter shite. Like, and I basically fucking found out that wasn't real in literally 20 minutes.
Yeah, but I've done that with a few things, a few stories now and again, when I've like read something that sounds like horseshit.
Yeah.
And then I go and Google that story, and then you'll find some other better website that just says, turns out it was a load of old shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can find this out for a lot of things, like in literally like 2 minutes.
Yeah, so that's a good one.
What is
this next one?
Okay.
This next one, if you want to say, like, feel free to interject.
It's just like, what do they look like?
They were so obviously fake that I can't believe no one thought they were fake.
Right.
It literally looks like people in like monkey outfits. But, like, the video's really blurry and shit, right, and, like, portrait mode video, that kind of thing, right? Yeah. So, yeah, it's stupid. Here's the next headline. Try to contain yourself as I read this one out. Time traveller from 2600 in stunning claim that humans and aliens live together.
There's been a few of these stories lately.
Yeah.
Of the time traveller dude. I don't know if it's the same dude.
I think it might be.
Who's come... I read about this. I think it was on, like, the Independent website.
Does the guy you know about happen to be the guy who also explains how aliens made robots? How most of the animals on Earth are actually alien robots that are spying on us and trying to kill us?
No, it was about 2-3 weeks ago, or maybe about 2 weeks ago. Then I have to go back in time and find out. But there was a dude who, and this was on a website, like it was either the Independent or the Guardian, right?
Mm.
And it said something like the news article was man who claims to be time traveler from future comes back and meets himself.
I mean, that can't happen when you time travel, can it? Because don't you die? If I've learned anything from Harry Potter, it's don't interfere in time travel.
Well, have you ever seen Time Cop?
Oh, like once, a long time ago.
Well, in that film, it supposes that if
that's a documentary, right?
It's Jean-Claude Van Damme going through time, literally stopping time crime.
So it's a bit like Demolition Man.
Sort of, not really. It's Time Cop. There's names in the title. Names in the title. The idea is in the title, right? Time Cop.
Okay.
He goes back in time to stop other time travelers from doing time crime.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like Jet Li's the one.
Yeah, let's say it. But in that, it supposes that if you meet yourself and you touch yourself, you turn into a big amorphous blob of flesh and then die.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
But this guy claims to have come back and met himself, and then all I remember seeing was the photo of himself. Wait a minute. Who's the time traveler's obviously the older fat dude, because there was a fat guy in this photo and there was a slimmer dude. So obviously the slimmer dude is supposed to be him today, and the big guy is from the future.
Was it a photo of him shaking his own hand, like presidential?
But the faces of both the people.
What? So it could have been anyone. Whoops.
So it was like, so this guy, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of it. It was utter nonsense. He claimed he came back to meet himself, and apparently they had a secret meeting which no one else is involved in.
Yeah.
Where he asked himself loads of personal questions that only he would know the answers to. And apparently he got them all right, and he proved to his younger self that, I'm definitely you from the future.
Okay, that's a bit weird.
Or I think it was...
Very easy to fake, though.
These two dudes who had sort of met on the internet got in a room, and this private meeting was them working out their lives and getting their story straight. That's what I think happened.
That's a... Well, I don't get these people that claim this kind of thing, because the idea is, right, that you're supposed to be able to disprove time travel by saying, if time travel becomes real in my lifetime, I'll come back and visit myself at this exact moment right now.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. So you're like, but that's presuming that it's invented in your lifetime.
Yeah.
So there is like really loose bit of credence to that, because it could be invented after my lifetime. So fine. Sure. But
if you're a time traveler and you're listening to our podcast now, when it's like a mega hit, right, in the future when we've done like 500 episodes, come back now.
Come back
to episode 1.
Come back and see us.
The date was the 16th.
Bring me another coffee from the future. Bring me a future coffee. But this article goes so insane. It's one of the things they do on the this is from the Daily Star. One of the things they do is they like flesh their articles out with pictures, right? One of the pictures on here is a female face that's so blurry it just looks like a big blob of colour. But also, there's a screenshot from what looks like Star Wars Episode 2.
Right.
You know, where they're doing that speeder chase, where he steals a speeder at the start, when they try and assassinate whatever that her name is. It's a screenshot from that. Like, just loads of like spaceships in the sky.
Is that him claiming it was like Las Vegas or something in the year 2078?
The year 2600. So the article says it's a lady, this one.
Okay.
Mia claims she had been to the year 2600 as part of a bizarre scheme. What fucking scheme? And was recruited after being asked to meet with a man in her high school principal's office.
What?
When she entered the office, Mia claimed a man dressed in all black offered her a job and said more information would be provided later. She then added that she'd been inducted into an advanced science program in which she could leap forward in time to the year 2600. Without explaining how she managed to make the 600-year jump, Mia said the world around her was incredibly different to what it is today.
Right.
And then she goes, here's where it gets really fucking good, right? In an interview with YouTube conspiracy channel Apex TV, she quotes, "I saw robots, aliens, and human beings all living together in harmony. I walked around and all the buildings looked like they were miles high. I talked to people from this time and they told me the world has changed." Right?
So she went walking around. She was basically the equivalent to them of a caveman.
Yeah.
And she walks up to someone and all they said to her was, "The world has changed."
Yeah.
What, compared to what world you know? What do you mean?
These next two quotes are what made me, above the headline, these last two quotes are what made me pick this article, all right? Because it's just clearly bullshit, right, but it's just so good.
Yeah.
So she goes on to say, they said that the red sky was caused by global warming and they all had microchips in them. Okay.
I mean, that's probably going to happen in 50 years, not 600.
Yeah, sure. That to me is viable in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Microchip ID or something, because that's the like controlling way the world is going, right? But commenters were divided over Mia's claim, with one supporter saying, "I believe her. I've already heard something about microchips getting put into people, so I'm convinced."
Definitely. I mean, she seems on a level.
Yeah, fine.
She didn't come out with anything too crazy.
Fine.
Apart from the robots and aliens bit, but, you know.
And then there's another person who was quoted as said, I was like, is this person me? A high school student was pulled out of class to take part in a time travel experiment. Fuck off. That's what that quote says. And then another one says, "That's the best story you've got?" Question mark. Why are they putting that in here? Yeah, I really enjoyed that article. I've got on the last one now, right? This last one is right up my street, and you'll see exactly why.
We're skipping over this whole time travel thing. Because there was one I watched yesterday. There was a video I saw yesterday of time travelers.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was trying to find some random shit from the internet for this.
Yeah.
And I was like Googling, like, where was that story about the dude who met himself from the future? Right?
Yeah.
I was trying to find that. And then I ended up down a real rabbit's hole on YouTube.
It's so easy to do, though, when you do stuff like that.
If you type in conspiratory theory on YouTube, that's it.
Say goodbye to your entire day. Especially if you're me. And then I'll end the day being like, "Oh my God, everything is fucked."
Locking the doors.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What I love on YouTube with this sort of stuff is all the little thumbnails they make that aren't in the actual video.
Yeah.
And it would be something like an old timey photo of a bunch of people standing there, and there'll be this big neon green arrow pointing at something. And you're like, what is that? And you have to watch it.
Yeah.
But then that thing is not in the video.
Yeah.
So you're like, what the fuck?
That's classic, like, thumbnail clickbaiting. Yeah.
And
the funniest thing is this next article I've got, the main photo is exactly that.
Oh, cool.
It's a photo of the thing in the article with a big fucking green arrow pointing to it. And they don't mention what that is in the story.
Right, sure. Why would you?
Here's the headline, okay? Egyptian pyramids bombshell. In capital letters.
Right.
I can't read this out without laughing. Egyptian pyramids bombshell. Structures built 5,500 years earlier than history books say. Okay, right. I'm in. I'm sold. Okay, right?
I mean...
Ancient Egyptians may have built the Giza pyramid complex more than 5,000 years earlier than British historians tell us. I don't know why they made that specific. But this article goes on into some really, really weird stuff, okay? And one of my favourite things about this fucking article is the thumbnail of it, which I wish I could send you. Yeah, so I'll just text you the thumbnail from this.
That's got the ancient aliens lens flare.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this article goes off on so many fucking tangents because it's to do with ancient Egypt. People love talking shit about ancient Egypt, talking trash about ancient Egypt,
ancient aliens,
and all this kind of stuff, right? So the premise of this article is that we were wrong about when the pyramids were built, right? Okay, but being wrong. And being wrong by 5,500 years.
Yeah.
That is like in a different... The ancient Egyptians ruled for like a really long time. Like the longest of any civilization as far as my history knowledge goes.
Not sure myself, but yeah.
And so that seems like it would skew things quite a lot, right? But of all ancient civilizations, we know the least about ancient Egyptians, despite them being the longest civilization, right? That's a real thing. That's not just me bullshitting about that.
Have you seen the film Gods of Egypt?
Yeah, that's the documentary.
That lays it out pretty clear.
Yeah, it's exactly like that, basically. Gerard Butler ruled ancient Egypt.
The gods were like robots.
There's so many weird things in here, and there's so many contradicting statements. Basically, it's a guy who isn't a historian or anything. I think he's another like history conspiracy theorist or whatever. He's just going on and on about all these different things. But then at the very bottom, it just says, all of these theories can be disproved by official historical documents. So what's the point in this news article? And then there's another thing.
What's the website is that from?
That's from... I've got it on my fucking... reading list, so I can't remember where I got it from. This is making for great listening. Dead air is a crime.
Dead air is a crime. But then you can edit it out. This isn't live.
That is very true.
I hope.
This is from... Oh, fuck's sake. Where did I get this article from? Hang on, I have to find it now. The Express.
The Express?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
But there's one really good bit in this, right? Where this is quite near the end of the article. It just says, Matt from Leicester believes the ancient civilization may have finished off work started thousands of years earlier. Great, thanks, Matt. Like, what is your claim for that? So, basically, the premise of the article is that the pyramids weren't built how we thought they were built, right? It wasn't like an Egyptian pharaoh decided to build some pyramids and they were built over like 20, 30 years or whatever.
Right.
This article, the premise is that they were built over the span of 5,000 years. So like they started them, then did a little bit, then did a little bit, because the idea is that there's no way what we all believe to be true about them using slaves and carrying stuff on those, like rolling the big blocks on logs and that kind of thing, like mass slave labor is bullshit. Right. And they were built like bit by bit over an entire civilization. So, but the quote is just so pointless. And it says, Matt from Leicester believes that an ancient civilization may have finished off work started thousands of years earlier. Can you see where this article's going yet?
ancient aliens.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, he revealed to us we can see rain erosion on the wall, but geologists say there was no rain heavy enough to cause damage at that point in history.
How do they know that?
How do they know? Well, so you're saying that heavy rain didn't exist in 2500 BC?
It hadn't been invented yet.
What? Yeah, it's like rain heavy enough to cause this damage didn't occur until 5,000 years later. So this guy's trying to tell me that heavy rain it didn't exist in the past.
Well, I mean,
what?
The video game Heavy Rain didn't come out till the late 2000s. But I don't know about the actual weather event.
Some of the backup they've got for these claims are this Matt guy. He's a 36-year-old YouTuber, right, obviously, right? He goes, this claim has been backed up by his 165,000 subscribers.
So, making things fact by just mass voting, I guess. Is that how it works?
They've got quotes here. They are quoting YouTube comments as if they are actual sound bites from actual real people. Right? One of them is, I agree with everything you've said. I wish mainstream archaeologists would listen to these theories.
I mean, they'll probably listen and then go, you're an idiot.
Then go, shut the fuck up.
Shut up. You're just a guy, I'm an expert. There's a difference. I'm educated in this field, you're not.
This is my favourite one, though. Another commenter claimed, thanks to your research, we are getting closer to the truth.
Based on what?
They're taking the most biased comments possible and presenting them as if they're fact.
Yeah. What's the comments?
The pyramids of Giza are the most radical examples of modern architecture. A pyramid is the most ancient type of structure. It's because it's just like a basic mathematical shape. That is the least modern thing you can get.
Yeah.
It's just the only structure they could build because they didn't have not technology, but knowledge to build more advanced things.
Yeah.
Right?
Like the skyscraper from the film Skyscraper.
Yeah.
What's it called? The Pearl?
I haven't seen that film.
Maybe not.
I can't believe I haven't seen it, but I haven't seen that film. But the Mayans who were around before Egyptians, they built square pyramids because it was like the structure holds itself up. So you don't need advanced architecture to build something like that.
It's not like really architecture, is it?
It's like
a pile of rocks.
Well, it is architecture because it's a self-supporting structure. Yeah. That's what a pyramid is. So it's like it's the opposite of modern architecture.
Anyway, what's the other comments? Lol.
They
love pyramids.
First, that's not what the comment says. No, another one is they look more like something you might expect to find on a day trip to Mars.
What? A day trip to Mars? Is this another time traveller? Yeah, this is normal for us. We go always off to Mars, and they're everywhere. Pyramids. What are you talking about?
I don't know. Maybe it's the cabbie from Total Recall.
Yeah. Another comment is like if you think this is true.
Yeah. Like if true, comment if false. Yeah. That's how we quantify our news reports these days.
I mean, you joke.
I know. I really know. It's just how the world's going, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the end of my findings.
Cool. I mean, there was one we didn't talk about.
Oh, the poo one.
The poo one.
Do you want to go into that a little bit?
Poo one.
We might as well touch on it because
I don't want to touch on the poo.
Touch on the poo.
Yeah.
There's one. I'm almost sure you may have heard of one of these stories in this article because it was. I believe
one of these. What?
There's 5 stories in this one article, so it's like a bit of a clickbaity list. But
sure.
I think I heard someone at work talk about this once. Okay, so you might have heard about this. So earlier this week, Liam Smith broke the internet when he shared a tale about how a woman he'd been dating had thrown a poo out of his bathroom window after it wouldn't flush. Have you heard about this?
No.
Okay, I'd heard about this before I read this article, right? So the article says, to cut a long story short... I know, I believe that was intentional. The poo became trapped between 2 window panels and she tried to retrieve it. However, then she became stuck and had to be rescued by firefighters.
Oh my god. Did this actually happen?
Yeah, that's a real thing. I researched it and it's real. He had one of those old-fashioned 2-panel windows that goes up and down.
Yeah.
She did a shit so big it wouldn't flush, so she tried to throw it out of his window. It got trapped between the two window panels. She then tried to put her hand in the window, in between the two windows, got her hand stuck, and then had to be rescued, naked, covered in her own shit by firefighters.
Man. Did they have a second date?
I don't know. It doesn't go on to say. But yeah, basically, this article is like 5 more stories similar to that, like inspired by this, right? They're quite short and like bite sized, but like, so this one's called The Barbecue Bombshell. This is
anthology of poo stories.
It is. It's like, so that one story I just told you about is like the intro to this article.
Oh man, do you know what a Portman 2 film is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine a film made on these stories.
Oh god, it would be so bad. Like a pooey Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
So I can't like verify the truth of these stories because they were shared in the Facebook comments of this article,
right?
The original article, and then this is on the Huffington Post. Collated them.
Yeah.
Right. The Huffington Post, notorious for shite news articles, no pun intended. This one is in quotes. It goes, "This guy takes his new lady to meet his family. She did the deed and the toilet wouldn't flush, so she retrieved the substance wrapped in toilet roll and threw it out of the window into an adjoining field. Only it didn't quite land there. It landed on top of the conservatory where the family were having a barbecue."
Oh my god.
Basically what happened is it unravelled from the toilet paper, smeared shit all over the conservatory and then fell on their barbecue.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, what is this weird world that people... It's like a 70s sitcom where someone gets themselves into these situations.
Can't
where...
be true, but it is.
Yeah.
It is. So the next one is called The Dove in Distress, right? It's like it feels like a fucking like novella. This is a very similar story to an ex of mine, apart from the poo was wrapped in toilet paper and thrown out of the window and landed on our porch roof. She came clean in the end, but the total embarrassment was when an elderly neighbour knocked on the front door to say, "There's a poo stuck on your roof."
There's a poo on your roof. Who are these people who are throwing poos out of windows?
I don't know. They need more fibre in their diet. That's what these people need. This next one's really, really short, but it's really good. A guy called Lee Gillard commented on this post saying he went on a date with another guy. They went to a Mexican food restaurant, and he goes, "I took him back to my place, and I literally had diarrhea all night. The worst part was my bathroom doesn't have a door, and it adjoins to my bedroom."
What?
So he was just like shitting himself all night, and his doesn't have a door in his bathroom, and it's like an ensuite.
Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty grim, isn't it? If you were the guy he was taking back there, you'd be like, "I'm leaving now." Like,
yeah,
I'm not.
somehow...
I know this is like, it's not disgusting because he's doing it on the toilet, but like, I don't want to sit while my date shits themselves in a toilet that I can see and hear and smell.
I don't get that at all myself. But
Yeah.
I mean, the smell, the sound.
Yeah, that would be just the worst.
Tell you what, this date is a write-off.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last one is called Handbag Hideout.
Oh no. No.
So yes.
Why would you?
Yes.
No.
So this one's got a link to this one was entirely article worthy on its own, right? She was on a date at someone's house when she had to poo.
What is this about? All right, what world do we live in where people go on dates and do massive poos? Somewhere.
I would like when I first started dating my current girlfriend. I was terrified to do a poo in her vicinity. Even if we were like, I'd be, that's the sort of thing I would get really socially anxious about.
Right,
do you know what I mean?
Not like in
a weird way. Just like, I've got to go for a poo. Like, what if she hears me poo?
Yeah,
I get really anxious about that kind of thing.
That stuff doesn't bother me. But I mean, me personally, I would, sort myself out before I went on a date.
Yeah. But anyway, she was on a date at someone's house when she had to poo. Fair enough. Basically, to cut a long story short, she ended up stashing her poo in her handbag and continuing the date. Okay, so she explains exactly what went wrong and probably why you shouldn't ever go for a shit while you're on a date.
Okay.
Okay, so She goes, so yesterday I went on a date with a man who asked me out in the grocery store. It was going well. I went back to his place. She goes, I'm a confident, calm woman, so I felt comfortable doing a poo in his bathroom. Okay, fair enough. This was a mistake. He simply says his toilet did not flush properly. So, of course, like any calm, confident, self-assured woman, I panicked, flushed it 1,000,000 times, making everything worse. And by this point, I realised there was only one single piece of poo. The story's going so out of fucking whack. Right. She goes, I knew exactly what I had to do. That's not what I would be doing. I would be freaking the fuck out if I was in this scenario, because I get mad anxiety about this kind of stuff anyway.
Right, okay.
If I was on a date, I'd done a massive shit, it wouldn't flush, I'd be like, okay, I've got to man up and go down to my date and be like, look, I'm really sorry, but your toilet doesn't flush. There's a massive shit in it, right? Like, what else are you going to do? Yeah. But this woman's logical next step was wrap it in toilet paper and put it in my handbag. Okay.
How did he find out?
I wrapped it in multiple layers of toilet paper and put it in my purse. So we're sitting on his couch and we start kissing.
No.
And all I can think of is this poo in my handbag.
What? Did he find out?
Oh, so okay, it goes on, right? There's a fair bit more to this story, and it gets so good. So we're sitting on the couch and we start kissing, and all she can think of is this piece of poo in her handbag. He says to me, "You're so beautiful. The moment you smiled at me, you had me." And she goes, "That's really sweet." But in her head, I have a piece of poo in my handbag. That's all she can think of at this point, right? At this point, she texts her sister for advice. And there's a link to a screenshot of this text message that she sent, right? But unfortunately, the tweet has been since deleted, so I couldn't find it. Even I googled for it a bit, but I couldn't find it. So after a few hours, he went to use the bathroom and it flushed. So he figured maybe he'd fixed it, or maybe something, it was like intermittently broken, maybe, right. I don't know. So she goes, okay, I'm going to go upstairs and try and flush the poo again.
Right.
Okay. So she takes her handbag up to the washroom, unwraps the poo, puts it in the toilet, and it worked, and it flushed.
Why would you unwrap it?
And that's it.
Why would you unwrap it? Unwraps the poo and then flush it. Just throw the whole lot in there and flush it. Or so she got away with it?
Yeah.
Okay, great story.
But then she shared the entire thing on Twitter.
Yeah.
People retweeted it, the date found out, and really freaked out, and she's never seen him since.
Why would you...
Yeah.
Why would you, share that?
I don't know. If that was me, I'd lose sleep over something like that. I would worry about it so much. My pooey grave.
My pooey grave. That didn't happen.
But that's it. That's the end of my things that I've found.
That's all right. I've got some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Ugh. Right. Well, I've got this first one here.
Yeah.
Let's see what you think. There's a food museum.
Okay.
Somewhere.
Great.
Somewhere. Hang on a minute. Why is this not opening? Open. So there's a museum somewhere in the world, which basically looks at shitty food.
Okay.
What I mean by that is disgusting foods from around the world.
Okay.
And most countries in the world are represented. So I think it's in Sweden.
Okay.
So stuff like fermented Icelandic shark. Yeah.
I don't like fermented foods very much anyway.
No, which apparently tastes like chewing on urine-infested mattress. I mean, but it's called.
That's not a good image.
That's what Samuel West, who's the curator of this disgusting food museum.
Wow, what a fucking job, though.
Apparently, Anthony Bourdain, the TV personality, called it the single most disgusting thing he'd ever eaten.
Have you watched any of his TV shows?
No.
He's sidebar. I was really bummed out when he passed away recently, because he was one of my favourite chefs, TV personalities. I've got all of his books. I've read all of them. They're great. And a lot of the shows he did, he ate some really disgusting stuff, because he'd go to countries and he'd eat not like the touristy food from there, but he'd eat the actual traditional foods of all these countries he went to. And he'd go to places like, when he went to Alaska, he'd eat raw seal fat and all that kind of stuff, which is it's a traditional delicacy thing there.
Yeah.
And And I've seen him eat a lot of disgusting shit. So I'd imagine if that's the most disgusting thing he's eaten, it's got to be pretty bad.
Well, I've heard of it before. I can't remember what other dish it is. But it's an Icelandic thing where they keep it in tins, and it's this fermented fish that's
surströmming.
Yeah.
There's a really good story about it, where there was a guy in, I think it was like Sweden or something like that, where a guy had a tin of it and he dropped it in his flat and it leaked everywhere, and he got evicted because the smell, like, there was like 50 flats in this block of flats and every flat stunk of it.
Oh my God.
And they had to rip up the floorboards and replace the floorboards to get rid of the smell.
But you can, on this in this exhibition, you can get spiced rabbit heads.
Ooh.
Fruit bat soup. What else is there?
There's, God, what would that even be?
I don't know. Like, some of the photos are rank.
Oh man,
they're just like dishes. They're just like these giant, like scientific looking, like preservative jars.
Yeah,
and it's just like uncooked offal in it.
Oh
like,
man,
just festering in its own. And there's stuff like grasshoppers, cooked animal skulls, eyeballs, all this sort of shit.
Just like, well, it's making you gag thinking about it, isn't it?
But then there was other countries that were represented. So there was cured shark. There was this certain type of cheese from Sardinia that has maggots in it.
Oh man, fuck that.
And you eat the maggots because they're processing, they're digesting the cheese. They're just only eating cheese.
So it tastes like cheese.
I don't know. But what?
How the hell did you find this article?
So I decided to look on Reuters because they're like literally the news their outlet for everybody.
Yeah,
almost, right. A lot of the news websites you read, they get all their stuff from this. This is the AP for the world, where so
I get what you mean.
Yeah. Scotland was represented with haggis.
Okay,
because it's sheep dinners.
I like haggis though.
Oh yeah, so Sweden's. What's it called?
Surströmming. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Fermented herring. And then there was Asian foods, strong-smelling durian fruit, stinky tofu. What?
Ugh.
Okay, just tofu that smells. Okay. What else was there? There was something else there. Really. Mexico's menudo tripe soup.
Oh man, tripe is disgusting.
As well as Peru's roasted guinea pigs.
Oh man.
North America was represented by sweet treats, jelly-o salad, and root beer. Root beer? Root beer's like what?
It's like root beer's like similar to ginger beer, right?
I've never had it.
I don't think I've ever had it either. But it seems
the girl
pretty
that's
popular.
saying at the moment, she lived in New York for a while.
Yeah.
She said she tried root beer and it's not very nice.
Oh, fair enough.
But I mean, it seems like it's a bit extreme to have it in this thing.
Yeah.
Australia was represented by Vegemite, which apparently, again. The girl I'm seeing was telling me about because she's pretty much been everywhere in the world.
Yeah,
she was saying like that Australians are vehemently like patriotic to Vegemite.
Yeah,
it's like one of their national symbols. It's bizarre.
But it tastes just like Marmite though.
Probably,
it's exactly the same. I've had it. It's the same as Marmite. Well, it's not exactly the same because it's made of vegetables, not yeast, but it's similar.
But yeah, there's all this like stinky shit. The funniest thing about this though is that they were saying that has anybody thrown up in there? And they said, yeah, a couple of people have been sick in the installation in the museum, but they get around it because the tickets are printed on vomit bags. So yeah,
that's pretty cool though.
Yeah,
that's just cool. Quite interesting.
I was like, oh man, that was like this weird little like. I always find like things like that kind of interesting. It's like who's like going to this shit.
Yeah.
I was also. This was a weird little dumb thing. There's a thing in Germany. There's a Madame Tussauds new exhibition.
Yeah.
That has Trump in it.
Right.
Right. But he's an animatronic Trump that's punching a punch bag that's got Merkel's face on it.
What?
That's it. And I was like, what is this news story? And why in Germany?
Why in Germany? Yeah. Surely it'll be the other way round.
Yeah, let's
that's bizarre. It's the opposite way around to what you'd expect.
Yeah, if it was
I thought it seems to me like if it's in Germany, why would it be him punching Merkel if it was in Germany?
Yeah, weird. It's where is this? In Berlin, Madame Tussauds.
What? Is there any context behind it, or it's just like
Madame Tussauds in Berlin unveiled latest attraction Tuesday, a posturing Donald Trump figure striking a picture of German Chancellor Angela Merkel on a punch ball. Unlike the wax figure moving, blah, 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 blah.
That is so weird.
What? I don't get it. I'm like, ultimately, people find him funny and want to take pictures with him. They don't feel repelled. We noticed a year ago when we put up the wax figure that he's not someone who's perceived as negative or whom visitors want to harm. Okay, all right. Bizarre.
That is a bit weird.
That was a really weird one, but apparently the internet, in terms of gaming news, is freaking out at the moment because Nintendo...
The internet is freaking out because of Nintendo.
Yeah, the internet broke, apparently. It's one of these fucking articles, right?
Okay, go on.
Something that's broken the internet.
Yeah.
So recently, well, I say recently, last year Nintendo brought out another Mario game.
Okay.
Super Mario Odyssey. And it had a topless Mario in it, which had nipples.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah.
Well, they're freaking out again.
Again?
The internet's broken again. Because apparently in some screenshot for Mario Tennis Aces, you can see Luigi's dick.
What? Well, like, actually?
No. So, like...
That is so tenuous.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is an image of a CGI Luigi with a tennis racket, but he's got a bit of a bulge where he would have a bulge. So apparently,
what's wrong with that? So people are annoyed that Luigi has a dick.
Yeah, so it's canon now. Yeah,
but he's a human. It's not like he's a different species. The internet is so weird. Why would you pick up on that as being a thing?
So someone off Twitter said, "You know what? You know what? No, I've seen too many pictures of Luigi's mediocre dick for one day."
For one day, yeah. But maybe tomorrow I'll look at more. That's so stupid.
Someone else said, "I just saw Luigi's supposed dick print, and I'm officially deleting. Good night."
What? Why are you so offended by Luigi's schwanz? That's good.
So, yeah, apparently he's now anatomically correct.
Well, that's good then.
Whatever the hell that means. I mean, I don't...
So are people saying that previous images of Luigi, he hasn't had a bulge?
No, I think nowadays with the progression of CGI, like they've added a bulge. So now people are freaking out that people like Mario and Luigi are becoming slightly more anatomically correct. Like they're seeing these cartoon characters that have like a package going on.
Yeah. I mean, that's a little bit weird because I've just Googled
Luigi dick.
Just pictures of Luigi.
Right.
Luigi Nintendo, because I'm getting pictures of random Italian men from the looks of things. It does look like so if you go on like Dreamcast era Luigi, like Haunted Mansion era Luigi.
Dreamcast?
I mean GameCube.
Get your consoles right.
He doesn't have any bulge at all in doing similar poses.
Well,
now he does. So, but presumably they've just put it in there because it should have been there all along.
Sure. They're like, oh my god, we need to retcon Luigi.
We need to retcon Luigi's groin and put a dick in there instead. That is so weird.
I mean, fair enough though. I look at an image of him just standing, and he's just 100% like he's got almost like a spherical body.
Yeah, it's just smooth like a Ken.
Yeah,
Ken doll. I mean, like
smooth like a Ken.
Smooth like a Ken. That's interesting.
When I was looking up stuff, I noticed I typed in. I was using some very rudimentary Google parameters. So I was like typing in stuff like weird news, paranormal news, all this sort of the things that like are dumb. And I like what did I type in? I typed in something like paranormal news.
Yeah.
And
the sort of thing that you imagine I Google every day.
Yeah. Whenever you're like at work and got 5 seconds, you just jump on your phone and Google dumb shit.
Literally, the phrase dumb shit. And reads the first thing that comes up.
There's got to be a Twitter feed that is just dumb shit.
There has to be. Yeah. And if there's not, I'm going to start it directly after this.
So I looked up like paranormal news as a phrase.
Yeah.
And what I found was this little interesting little tidbit. On the Independence website, they have like a lot of these news websites, they have like keywords.
Yeah.
Like politics, lifestyle.
Like metadata tags sort of things. Yeah.
So on the Independence website, if you search paranormal, there's only one news website. There's only one news article on their entire website.
I'm into this already. What is it?
It's been going on for decades, right?
Yeah.
So it's New Tory MEP is an expert in alien sightings and the paranormal.
Wow. Okay,
like,
I'm in.
I didn't actually look it up. I just saw the headline.
Yeah.
I went, right, okay, I moved on swiftly.
Yeah,
from that.
I'm in already. Let's go.
But what I also found was that I'm probably going to start going to this website more often. It's called devonline.com.
Okay.
Right. And I thought it was like Devon Live, and it might well be. Right.
Right.
I'm not sure which way around I'm supposed to read.
Wait, hang on. What is it? Dev
on Live.
Online. I put Dev Online, and it came up with the Devonshire website.
Well, that's what I thought it was at first. I thought it was.
Oh yeah, because it reads Devon Live. Yeah, it is. It is that.
Yeah, so it's probably Devon in Australia.
Oh, local newspaper websites are good for this kind of shit. Yeah.
Right. So, they've got some weird stuff going on there. So there was one article that stood out because when I was trying to read one thing, I thought that's not quite interesting enough. Down the right hand side, there was loads of clickbait articles for the same website.
Yeah,
so I was like, okay, cool. And I found one that I'll read the headline. The headline is "Woman who has had sex with 15 ghosts is settling down with a poltergeist."
Okay. Whoa. Please go on.
The thing is, I'm not sure. I think this is from Australia.
Okay.
But then it says the first line is a West Country woman, and it's
what?
Devon.
West
Devon.
Country. I'm crap at geography. Is Devon West Country?
I think so. But
Devon's where custard comes from, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, I think this is an Australian site, but I think this is a couple who met in Australia, flew back to England together.
Right.
Having sex on the plane on the way home. Why they've mentioned that, I'm not sure.
So she met a ghost in Australia?
No. So, a West Country woman who has hit the headlines has revealed that she has cheated on a fiancé by having sex with a ghost.
Right.
And went on to say she had 15 ghost lovers.
Okay.
Right?
Go on.
Okay. Has now revealed that she's found true love and is planning to marry a poltergeist.
So wait, hang on. Let me just pause you for a second there.
Right, okay.
Not only has this woman got proof that ghosts are real.
Well, she says.
Okay, she's not only met 15 ghosts, she's fucked 15 ghosts.
16 in total.
16 in total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never even seen a ghost.
Well, she's...
How does this work? Did she seduce them? Did they seduce her?
It doesn't really...
Did she rape these ghosts?
Right, okay. Well, this might get a little bit of light on the situation.
Go on.
Because it then I had to read this sentence a couple of times because I was trying to work out what this website was telling me here.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Go on. Yeah.
This will probably explain a lot as soon as I say what her name is. Amethyst Realm.
Oh, I don't need to know anymore.
Hopes to have a baby with her new partner and says her friends and family are happy she's found true love.
Okay. Please tell me this ghost has a name.
Let's keep going. I haven't
it.
read it.
You haven't read it yet.
I'm literally reading this live. I read like the first bit and I was like,
okay,
I'm going with this.
I hope this ghost has a name, and I hope it's like a really old-fashioned ghosty name as well.
Amethyst says her ghostly partner asked her to marry him while they were on a trip to Wookey Hole. So yeah, this is in England.
Okay.
Celebrating their 9-month anniversary, Bristol Live reports.
What?
What? The couple met in Australia, flew back to England together, having sex on a plane on the way home. So yeah, so she's claiming... So hang on, did the ghost have a plane ticket?
They should... Whatever airline she used should be looking into this.
She'd look at the
Because
footage.
she smuggled a passenger onto a commercial flight.
But
what's the... It's not commercial flight, is it? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Commercial flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like... okay, here's another interesting topic. Do ghosts need to buy plane tickets?
Do they? I'm not sure. But
let's imagine for a second ghosts are real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, okay.
They don't take up a seat because you could sit. The ghost could sit like in you.
But then if I'm a passenger, right? If I'm a human passenger, I'm not dead yet, so I'm still having to pay for my tickets.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm livid because there's a ghost literally freeloading off of the communal fare where everyone in this plane's paying.
Yeah.
I'm paying for him. Freeloader.
Okay, side note. Right. How do you calculate the luggage allowance for a ghost? Because their luggage doesn't weigh anything. So you're telling me they're allowed unlimited... Ghosts are allowed unlimited luggage on planes?
Matt, we can all agree that ghosts, first of all, do appear. But also, do exist. But also that ghosts are incorporeal, right?
Yeah.
So the moment the plane starts moving, does it get left behind?
Do they have to sort of hover along with it and really concentrate on making it look like they're sitting on a seat?
Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going because there's more. Amethyst.
Beggars belief.
Amethyst says they are not sure what they will put on their wedding invitations as her spirit fiancé doesn't have a name.
Oh.
That's a shame.
What does she call him?
She told the son.
Oh, fuck.
There was no going down on one knee. He doesn't have knees. But for the first time, I heard him speak. I could actually hear his voice, and it was beautiful. Deep, sexy, and real.
He still has knees. They're just not real.
He doesn't have knees. No. He's clearly he's like your classic ghost. After from the hips down, he's like shredded. It's just like
like Casper.
Yeah, just like it's just I don't know. It's the sheets and stuff. I don't know.
Oh my god, it's the sheets and stuff. So in your head, he's not a human, corporeal human.
No,
he's like Casper.
No. I'm thinking in my
like
head.
classic ghost cartoon.
I'm thinking like Ghostbusters. So he's like an old dude who's like.
Oh, they're like all wispy from the waist down.
Yeah, but he's like I don't know.
Oh,
just
man.
like I
just had the image of a goat, like a fully formed man, just without legs.
Yeah.
I got the complete wrong end of that explanation, which is what killed me.
No, it's like he's like a hollow sort of dude, like really old, grey and green and half transparent, like 50% opacity.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. like he's a human layer mask.
Yeah, someone's turned layer blending on. But from like the hips down, it just like fades.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing,
right. Yeah, that makes more sense.
He just floats around the house.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, she heard him speak. There's a picture of her, not a picture of him though. So that's disappointing. Amethyst has left him to decide what kind of ring she gets, although she's hoping for a namesake stone.
Okay, here's another question.
Right.
How does he buy her a ring? Because he can't pick it up.
I have.
Does he need someone to proxy propose to her?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, can he possess? If he's a poltergeist, he can use a computer.
This is the thing, right? Because a poltergeist is not the same thing as a ghost.
No, poltergeist can move things. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's all science, right?
Yeah.
There's classifications of ghosts. She's planning to have a countryside wedding and says they are on a fast-handing ceremony where their hands will be tied together symbolically for their connection. She predicts it will be a big affair, but says they haven't agreed on details yet.
Okay.
What a load of...
So I have just some context for you.
Man, there's more of this. There's loads.
Just quickly.
There's some comments at the bottom as well.
Okay, we'll go into that. But I found a website called ghostsandgravestones.com.
Oh, brilliant! Right.
And
was
it's
that
called
just from a quick Google?
Yep, and it's called Official List of Ghosts. Number 3 is the poltergeist. So it explains that poltergeists can manipulate the physical environment,
right?
But they don't take form. So
so they're like they don't.
You can't see them.
Yeah, so it's just a force that moves things around. Like you'd be sitting in a room and
whereas the classic ghost that you'd be thinking of is called an interactive personality, but that's based on a deceased person,
right? Or
like that has to have been someone. It can't just be like a nothing.
Poltergeist is what?
A poltergeist, like there's no visual.
No, was it a person?
No, a poltergeist is.
What are you talking about? What are we talking about? This is a load of old guff.
Yeah, and go on. I want to hear these comments on this article.
Well, there's more to the story. Amethyst has claimed having sex with ghost lovers is better than the physical people.
Right. Okay.
She told the Sun her orgasms with spirit lovers has become more satisfying than with real men, and that she can feel their weight and energy.
So I'm slightly concerned here that she maybe isn't okay.
So her family, who Amethyst describes as alternative, is not fazed by her relationship, and her friends are just pleased she has found love. She was on this morning on ITV.
Fucking hell. Well,
There's a screenshot. There's a screenshot.
That's proof that this is bullshit if she was on this morning.
The Mirror Online previously reported that Amethyst met her spirit lover in the Australian bush, and he's followed her back to the UK. She claims they joined the Mile High Club and have had sex in the toilet on the plane.
If he's a ghost, they don't need to go into the toilet because no one's going to know.
Which she might sit there with her legs open a little bit and
Excuse me, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Why are you out of breath?
Yeah. Why are you naked, madam? Man,
This is
insane.
Wank, load of wank. Yeah, blah blah blah. On how they met, Amethyst says, I was in Australia walking out in the bush. Just suddenly it approached me. Just something you feel, an emotional, physical presence.
That's so weird.
I fell in love with it, I guess. That's the one.
I fell in love with it, I guess.
That's what it says. I fell in love with it, I guess. It's the one. In a previous appearance on This Morning,
right,
she was asked about having a baby. She said, I hope so. I would hope physically.
How?
How would you have a spiritual baby? What?
So is she just going to pretend she's got a kid? A ghost baby?
Just swallow loads of inflated balloons and pretend she's pregnant.
That's not how that would work.
No. I've been looking at phantom pregnancies. Oh God, what an awful
Fucking
pun
hell.
on.
Oh, that's a good pun. Phantom
I
pregnancies.
believe a phantom pregnancy is a real
fake ghost pregnancy.
She's got.
Oh my God.
Here.
Okay, go on.
She says, I believe a phantom pregnancy is a real pregnancy, but you have had a phantom inside you rather than a human baby.
Whoa.
The reason we don't carry them to the full term is people who have them don't comprehend it or think it's possible. What the fuck, man? She is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
she is baffled.
It could be that she is a bit not right.
So
I'm trying to be tender here about this. Like
blah blah. Anyway, let's go to the comments.
Yeah, go on.
Mentally ill female imagines too much.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's one comment. Ooh,
that's it. That sums it up, doesn't it? Really.
Rumor is she's settling down because of a phantom pregnancy. What? That's not a joke. That's just the thing you said.
That's just quoting the article directly.
That's clearly someone who's written a comment and not read the article.
Yeah.
And then someone's gone, "You're an idiot." There's a lot of comments, but they're all like, "Mad as a box of frogs." People are the worst. This woman's crazy as a wedge.
A wedge? A wedge of what?
A wedge of what? But there was up here.
Crazy as a wedge shape isn't.
There was a link to another article. I might just go off on a rabbit hole here.
God.
Because there's a link to another article on this website.
Right.
I haven't opened this before. I haven't seen this before. Okay. I literally saw it as we were talking and I thought I might come back to this.
All right, go on.
The headline is, Porn star turns ghost hunter after something goes bump in the night. Paranormal porn stars. It's a thing. It's a video. It's paranormal porn stars.
Parapornal norm stars.
Parapornal norm stars.
Yeah. The worth of both worlds. I didn't even do the norm stars bit on purpose. It's just accident. But I meant to say parapornal porn stars.
Is that norm stars is going to be the new phrase for just people who act?
Yeah.
Yeah. Scarlett Johansson is a norm star.
I'm an actor. I think you'll find it's called a norm star. Oh, man.
Oh, Hollywood's biggest norm stars. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Blah, blah. What is this shit I'm reading?
I don't know. I really don't know.
A group of adult movie stars have become paranormal investigators after encountering unexplained activity in the new studio. Oh my God. The team of triple exorcists.
Triple exorcists?
I was trying to work out how to say it. It's like triple exorcists.
XX exorcists.
Yeah. XX exorcists.
Is that like a sequel to Triple X where everyone's a ghost?
They've called themselves paranormal porn stars and will search for things that go bump in the night in a new series being broadcast on Amazon Prime.
Oh my God. What's it called?
God. Paranormal porn stars. Have you got Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
God, you can see if it's available, but I'm never going to watch it.
Not yet, by the looks of things.
When was this story? Let's have a look. This was, end of October. Yeah, so it's quite new.
Oh, no, there is a group of paranormal enthusiasts who also happen to work within the adult industry. We're looking for answers to the age-old question, is there life after death?
Lee says, I was in the building alone one day. I sat on the sofa in the changing rooms and heard a loud crash. I jumped, thinking that somebody had let themselves in. I looked and saw that the fire extinguisher had been thrown across the floor.
This is just nuts.
What are you talking about, you nut? I mean...
That is just crazy. I mean, just really confused by that.
Nutty. I mean, whatever. You know, this is just like what the internet produces, isn't it? It's just.
Stop just reading it and being silent.
No, I'm not. I've gone past it already. I just saw Schoolboy 10 describes the ordeal of being trapped in a KFC loo.
I literally have that news article in front of me right now because I was thinking I'm going to save that for the next one, but then I read it and it's not actually that interesting. There's a really funny photo of him at the end of the article, like coming out of a toilet. He's got his shirt off for some reason.
What?
Yeah.
What happened in there?
I don't know. Very, very weird. Those are some good news articles, though.
Yeah, I might have to stick to that.
Yeah.
Devon Live website.
I am exhaustingly laughed out right now.
Yeah. What was that laugh you did at the end there? Was that some fake laugh?
No, that's just my laugh.
I'm all laughed out. We're all laughing along at home, right?
Yeah. Hopefully people listening enjoyed that. Yeah, we're going to try and do another episode in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah.
That'll give us plenty of time to find some more news articles and stuff like that. I don't know about what you think. I think that format of actually just going into each article and reading about it is good. I think it's got legs. It could go far. We'll change it up a bit as it goes and see how it goes. I'm sure it will naturally find its own way. But I'm going to sort uploading this and getting a...
Just unedited.
I'll edit it later today.
Raw unedited. Edit it today?
Yeah.
Just gonna bang it out.
I'll do it this evening or tomorrow or something. Yeah. I've got like 4 days off now, so it doesn't matter. So hopefully you all enjoyed that, and we'll see you next time, or listen to you next time, talk to you next time.
Good sign.
You got to remember, Ed, this has been a podcast, not just you and I having a conversation, which is very much what it felt like we were doing.
Which is good.
All right, bye.